Right, so there's a stigma in the appointment setting realm that Facebook groups don't work. Okay, they're a scam. It's full of bots, bad offers. They're saturated. They're outdated. Okay, they're low ticket. They're not really worth your time. I'm going to completely debunk that myth in this video for you. Okay, because of like Facebook groups, I'm telling you now that they do work. They always did, and they still do. Granted, it has some faults. It has some errors. But newsflash, so does every other method too. Okay, but I promise you now, Facebook groups do still work, mate. You're just doing it wrong. Okay, because here are the common beliefs. I've just listed them there. You think they're a scam, okay? Sometimes, and I will admit, there are some offers on there that aren't the best. Some I've heard stories of people get on interviews and then they actually ask you to pay to work with them. Yes, fair enough, okay? There's some bots. Granted, yeah, there are some bots. All of these are true, okay? These do exist. But here's the thing, that's not just with Facebook groups. That's with anything else that you apply to. There's going to be bad offers. There's going to be saturated offers. There's going to be outdated methods and outdated, like, for example, methods of finding roles. There's going to be low ticket offers that are advertised and you didn't realize they were low ticket at the start. There are going to be some where you get on calls and they ask you to pay. Like, that comes from, and I'm going to show you how to do this in a minute. This comes from not knowing how to vet it in the beginning, okay? Once you kind of understand what you're looking out for, it makes this so much easier. But the actual reality of what Facebook groups are like for finding appointment setting roles are the complete opposite of the common beliefs, right? And this is such an important thing I want to drill into your guys' brain, right? You guys believe these things, okay, and so does so many people in the appointment setting space. So it stops people using Facebook groups. So if at mass is stopping people from using Facebook groups, then that means there's more opportunity for you to basically clean up in these Facebook groups because you're not going to have as much competition, right? So that's the way you need to see these things, okay? These common beliefs that aren't entirely true, okay, are stopping people from using this method, which means there's more opportunity for you, okay? And I know a big problem that you guys complain about is the saturation in the market, which doesn't matter. I'm going to run you through why in this video as well. Well, there you go. There's an unsaturated way of finding roles because so many people believe that it doesn't work, which means there's more opportunity for you to actually come in and clean up and actually land the roles in the groups, okay? So in my opinion, and my personal experience, and from what I've seen of other people, it's the complete opposite, okay? The reality is they are credible, right? There's genuine people in there. There's some great opportunities in there. It's abundant, okay? There's loads and loads and loads of offers being posted every single day. It's underrated because so many people think it's so crap. I think it's underrated. I think everyone thinks it's crap when they shouldn't think it's crap, okay? It's because you don't really know what you're doing and you also don't know how to vet offers, okay? And they're also quite lucrative. I'll tell you a story. My first ever 5K a month role came from a Facebook group. Wow. Yeah. My first ever 5K a month role came from applying to a Facebook group job post. I am not joking, okay? And that is why I will never crap on it, okay? So here's why it's not working for you, because this is your approach, okay? So what you're doing is you're watching a guru's video, right? And you're learning a secret strategy from somebody who's never done appointment setting in their lives, right? And just trusting them blindly. Now, this is a topic for another day, but I find it really funny. A lot of my competitors, and they're probably watching this right now, a lot of them don't know what they're talking about because, number one, they've never been appointment setters in their lives, or they don't do it anymore. Or when they did do it, they didn't do it for long enough to actually teach you how to do it properly, right? So the people you listen to, and it's so funny, I'm not going to list any names, but a lot of them don't actually know the first thing about finding appointment setting roles or appointment setting in general. And you need to be aware of that, okay? Whereas with me, right, I've been doing this for 2 years now. I've worked with people like Charlie Morgan and William Brown. I've made well over 6 figures for myself in commissions. I've generated well over 7 figures in cash for my clients, right? I've helped several people land high ticket roles, and I still do appointment setting to this day, right? I'm not just showing you how to do it and teaching people how to do it and then not doing it myself. I still do this. What I teach you works because I still do it to this day, right? That's what you need to understand. When you're watching a video from a guru, have they actually done it in the past, right? And if they have done it in the past, did they do it well enough, right, for you to actually learn from them? And are they doing it now, okay? Because a lot of the time, they don't match that criteria and they need to for you to copy their secret strategy. And to be honest, that's not even good enough, which I'll run you through in a second. But you're watching some random guru's video and just trusting them blindly, okay? That's the harsh truth, right? They don't really know what they're doing, okay? And this is the root of it all. And something I want you to think about. Okay, you really need to kind of do your due diligence before you start listening to these gurus. They can make big claims so easy. Oh, I've done this with appointment setting and they can't back it up. I actually can. I still do it to this day, and I've got the receipts as well, okay? And then what you're going to do here is you copy blindly, right? So using no critical thinking, just monkey see, monkey doing, and hoping for the best, right? Using their script, right? Not realizing you'll now be pulling yourself with everybody else that watched the same video as you. Everybody else that is monkey see, monkey doing is doing the exact same thing as you right now, using the same script from that same guru who doesn't know what they're talking about, okay? And that is not a scalable or reliable method in any realm. In school, for example, the teacher always knew when you were copying other people's work. Why? Because when they went to go mark the work at the end of the day, or the end of their, for example, the end of their work day, and then marking people's work, they're going to notice a pattern that, they're copying each other, right? Therefore, they're not going to take it seriously. Now, it's the same thing with appointment setting, right? And for example, in the entire job realm in general, if everybody's CV was copy and pasted, they wouldn't take anybody seriously because they're all copying each other, all right? You need to use your brain, okay? Because just copying some script, you need to understand so many other people are going to use the same script. It's fine to follow frameworks, but following scripts is going to shoot you in the foot, okay? So don't copy blindly, actually use your brain a little bit as well, and I'll show you how to do that, okay? And then you apply to 7 jobs and 7 jobs only, okay? With your newfound elite strategy, which is basically just copy and paste the script, right? You use your new surge of motivation to apply to 7 jobs without tracking them or thinking about the rest of the journey. For example, I'll get into this in a second, but you apply to some jobs, right? And then you think, that's a good day's work done. Let's just sit here and pray and hope for the best. Not tracking the numbers, not seeing how many responses you're doing and then tracking them and seeing if your strategy actually works, right? Not following up on all platforms. I'll get into that in a second. But you're just applying to 7 jobs with this secret method that you found from a guru who doesn't know what they're talking about. You apply to 7 jobs and then you wonder why it's not working, okay? You wouldn't apply to 7 jobs in the 9-to-5 world if you needed a job. So why think that you can get away with it here, okay? Because you can't. You wouldn't do that in the 9-to-5 realm or the traditional whatever, matrix realm, if you want to call it that. It makes me cringe saying that, but you get the point, right? You wouldn't do that in that realm. So why are you doing it here? Just applying to 7 jobs with some secret script as if you're going to completely just manipulate a human's actions and how they think with some magic script that's going to just completely, hypnotize them into hiring you. That's the funny thing about these secret scripts and methods. You think that you're just say some words and you're going to hypnotize them into hiring you. It's not how it works, right? So yeah, it just makes me laugh, okay? And then finding other avenues to blame but yourself. So now with no results from applying to only 7 jobs with some copy and pasted script from a guru who doesn't know what they're talking about, right? Now with no results, you blame everything but yourself by calling it a scam, unreliable, and just joining everybody else, right, who did the same as you. You're joining their victim mindset, right? You believe in what they say because they're the exact same thing. And then you pull together and just infect the market with this false belief that Facebook groups don't work when they actually do, okay? I landed my first high ticket role from Facebook groups, like I just said, and people do all of the time. If it works for other people, then clearly it's not a scam. You're doing it wrong, okay? And this always makes me laugh, and this is a topic for another day, but calling something a scam when it clearly works for other people and has worked in the past consistently, but it doesn't work for you, that doesn't make it a scam. It means it didn't work for you. And that just means you need to look deeply into what you're doing because clearly there's a reason why it's not working for you, right? That's why these online scam things make me laugh. How can it be a scam if it's working and people are happy with it? Because I know several people who are happy with Facebook groups. I'm happy with Facebook groups. Then if it was a scam, I wouldn't be happy with it, okay? So stop calling it a scam when it's not, right? You need to look deeper at what you're actually doing because you might be the problem. That's the cold hard truth. I'm going to run you through what you should actually be doing instead right now, okay? So this is how you should be doing it, okay? You need to learn to vet offers, right? You're getting scammed because you can't vet what is a good or bad. You're just spraying and praying, okay? And as a rule of thumb, a good, credible, legit offer is one where you can find the company details and the brand owner elsewhere, okay? And they have a decent sized following and have been operating for a decent amount of time as well. Okay, that's one of the biggest problems is not understanding how to vet offers, and that's why you're getting on roles or getting on interviews with people that aren't really the best fit. Or, for example, I know sometimes it happens where they actually ask you to pay them. Well, if you did your due diligence in the beginning, okay, and you could actually vet offers properly, then you'd know how to kind of differentiate that and you wouldn't be in that position in the first place. Okay, so you need to learn how to vet offers. That's the main pillar. Okay, so yeah, super important. And then you're going to build a strategy and a goal, right? You're going to stop copying scripts and hoping for the best like you're doing before, and you're going to understand what founders, especially in your niche, want to hear and double down on it. Prime example, do your clients want appointments on the calendar, or do they want more clients? Do they want more cash? Do they want more, like, better retention, right? Do they want to close more PIFs? What is their pain point? Why? How can you help? Oh, I can book you calls on the calendar. It's not good enough. I'm an appointment setter. I'll book you calls. Okay. I don't want calls. I want clients. I want clients that never leave. Okay. So you need to understand what they actually want to hear and double down on that. For example, I'm an appointment setter, but I'm not going to get you calls on the calendar. I'm going to get you cash in the bank and clients that never leave, because I know deep down that's what you actually want. Appointments can be set on your calendar by a monkey. I'm going to get you clients that never leave and pay full prices, pay high ticket prices. That's what they want to hear, right? Implement something like that in your script. Depends on the niche that you're in, and double down on it. Okay, don't just copy some script you found from some guru online and doesn't know what they're talking about. Okay. So super important, but always overlooked. Make sure your profile is optimized, professional and appropriate. What I mean by that is, why are you applying to job posts? I see it all the time, and it's like these people have their Facebook profile with no background, no cover photo, no profile picture, and then there's a few posts of them like drinking with their friends and on lads' holidays, and then they're applying to a setting position. Like, these guys will judge you in the first 3 seconds of seeing your profile, and you're shooting yourself in the foot immediately, okay? So it's super important, extremely overlooked. You need to make sure your profile that you're applying on is optimized, professional, and appropriate. Super, super important, okay? And aim to apply to and cold DM 30 people per day for 30 days. No excuses. I call it the 30 by 30 rule. Once you've learned how to vet offers, right, and you're actually at the point where you're now applying with your new script that's relevant to you and your niche, not some random copy and pasted one, you're going to follow the 30 by 30 rule, where you're going to apply to 30 job posts and message 30 people per day for 30 days straight, no excuses, and that is minimum, okay? And trust me, like, if you do that, you will see much better results. And then you're going to implement a tracking system, okay? So you need to actually know your numbers. How many you're sending per day, how many responses you're getting as a result, how many meetings you book. Without this, you have no idea if your strategy is even working or not, okay? So what's the point in just like mass sending this script that you don't even know works? You need a tracking system to see if it's actually worth your time, right? And if you do that and you're tracking your data, you do 100 people, you're not getting any responses, then clearly there's something wrong with your script and you need to change it, okay? But this is the thing with people copying scripts. They start sending this script, get no responses, and thinking that more volume is going to save them. That's not the case. Okay, you need to implement a tracking system to actually track these data and metrics, because it's going to help you out so much more in the long run. Okay. Anybody that doesn't track their metrics when trying to find appointment setting roles are appointment setters that don't land roles and then eventually say that appointment setting is saturated and it's a scam, okay? Because you didn't know how to do this in the beginning, okay? So you can do this on a Google Sheet, for example, or if you want my personal tracking sheet that I used, right, for scouting offers that landed me your first ever 5K a month role, message me on Instagram at AidenK Social. I'll link it in the description too. And I'll send you my tracker that landed me that 5K a month role, okay? And I'm going to save you so much time trying to have them to build it yourself, okay? I'll just show you how to do it immediately, right? And now to top that all off, right, to put the nail in the coffin, you're going to follow up on every other platform that you can find them on. I don't understand why none of you do this. You apply to a job post, right, or you send a cold DM and you don't follow up with them on that platform or any other platform, right? You must follow up on every single platform you can find them on. Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, I don't know the other ones. What's the other ones? I don't know. Any other platform you can find them on, right? You can find their email them, find their phone number, call them. Any platform you can find them on, follow up, okay? Because doing this not only sets you apart, but also shows you have what it takes for the job. An appointment setter that follows up at nothing to get the attention of the prospect and actually to book in a call, right? For example, what you're doing right now to land this role is appointment setter that is paid well and actually lands high ticket positions, right? So if you can't even do what it takes to land your own roles and book your own interviews, right, why should they trust you to do it for them? Think about it, okay? So it's not spamming people, right? They will respect you doing it. When you apply to a job role and you message someone and you follow up on every single platform multiple times until they respond, that shows you have what it takes for the job, okay, and sets you apart from all the competition, okay? You're right, there is a lot of competition, but most of your competition is crap, right? They don't know what they're doing, and they're doing all of the above, and that is why it's not working for them. So just stop doing all of this. Do all of this instead. I promise you, like if you do that and you do it for 30 days, try and come back and tell me you don't land a role. Because you will. Okay? And that's pretty much it for this video. So If you guys want that tracking sheet, message me on Instagram at AidanKSocial. And if you want my personal help to help you land a high-ticket AI-proof appointment setting role and getting it done the right way with other methods on top of Facebook groups that aren't taught online and are methods that I've built myself, then there's going to be a link down below in the description, right? There's going to be a link to book in a call. And I'll run you through exactly how I can help. Now, full transparency, that call is designed to try and sell you something. So if you don't want to be sold to, don't click it. But if you're serious about making this work, you're sick of not getting any responses on your outreach, and you have no idea what to do and you're on the verge of quitting, click that link and I'll show you how to become a high ticket setter extremely quickly without making any mistakes that you're about to make. Okay? Thanks for watching and I'll see you soon.